Hello, for our lesson today we have lesson 1-5, counting on the number line. You have already written numbers on a number line. Today you will learn to use patterns to write numbers on a number line. What is a pattern? A pattern is something that repeats. What patterns have you seen in real life? I thought about patterns in a sweater, like in the picture on the left. I thought about patterns in nature, like in a tree trunk. There's a circle for every year the tree has been alive. I also thought about patterns I've seen on animals, like a zebra's stripes, black and white. Numbers can follow patterns too. Our class spent a lot of time looking at this slide and noticing the patterns in the counting by twos. There's a pattern where the 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8 repeat in the ones digit. We saw it in the ones place here. We saw that pattern repeat in the ones place here. And then we noticed there was a pattern in the tens place as well. To begin, there is no tens place, which means a 0 in the tens place for the first 5 numbers. Then we saw 1 in the tens place for the next 5 numbers, and when we thought about it, we realized the next 5 places would have a 2 in the tens place, followed by the next 5 have a 3 in the tens place, and so on. When we looked at the 5s, we also saw patterns. We saw a pattern where the 0 showed up in the ones place on every other number. When we were counting by 5s, we also saw a pattern where 5 showed up in the ones place in every other number. Then we started looking at the tens place when we were counting by 5s, and there we saw patterns too. We saw no number in the tens place here and here, the first 2. Then we saw a 1 in the tens place, followed by a 1 in the tens place, followed by a 2 in the tens place and a 2 in the tens place, a 3 in the tens place, a 3 in the tens place, a 4 in the tens place. The next one would have a 4 in the tens place. We started to notice those patterns, and those are going to help us in the number line work that we're doing today. It's also going to help us when we start learning multiplication soon. So please try to notice those patterns. We like to find those patterns in numbers. Okay, so this morning we looked at the back of our morning math sheet and we saw a worksheet that looked like this. We looked at number line B, and what we were doing with number line B is we started by writing numbers on some but not all of the tick marks. We wrote numbers just like I did on this slide. Then we tried to find what numbers were missing. There's a tick mark halfway between 0 and 10. What number goes there? There's a tick mark halfway between 10 and 20. What number goes there? We wrote down the numbers and then we explained how we found those numbers. Here's how the worksheet looks when the numbers have been added in. It should have a 5 here between the 0 and the 10, and a 15 here between the 10 and the 20. Then we asked ourselves, are all the numbers between 0 and 20 shown here? No, all the numbers between 0 and 20 are not shown here. This number line is skip counting by 5s. I tried to draw that in with the little hills here. Each tick mark has a space between it that represents 5 numbers. So we add 5 to 0 to get 5. We add 5 to 5 to get 10. We add 5 to 10 to get 15. We add 5 to 15 to get 20, and so on. What is true about the distances between each of the tick marks on number line B? This was a question we'd kind of talked about earlier, but it's a tough one unless you're really thinking about it. It's important to notice all the distances between each of the tick marks on a number line are the same size. This is the same size as this, which is the same size as this, and the same size as this. Now these are not the same size as the spaces here, for example. These are smaller than line B. But if you look at number line C, the spaces on that line are the same as each other. Same deal with number line D. All the spaces on number line D are also the same size. That lets us know that there's equal amount of numbers between each tick mark. It's a symbol. Okay, now use number line C. We use number line C to make a problem for a partner to solve. You can do this at home. Just draw a number line and put, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 evenly spaced tick marks on it. Then decide what number to skip count by and write numbers only where the arrows are. This is a puzzle for someone else to solve. So try this now. You can pause the video. Okay, that was it that we did for our lesson today. Then we did a couple problems as a class and watched the math video. I hope that you are still able to access the online textbook and look at the guided practice that we did as a class. I do have those passwords for you. If you need them, just let me know and I'd be happy to send another copy home.